Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'm going to be giving you my first impressions of this shoe. This is the Saucony Endorphin Speed, and I think this might be my favourite shoe I've ever run in. And I'll tell you why in this video. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Josh, a vegan triathlete, and in today's video, we're going to be doing my first impressions review of this shoe right here, the Saucony Endorphin Speed. Santa came through on everything I could have asked for this year, and one of those, the first one, is going to be this shoe. This is possibly my favourite shoe I've ever run in, so let's get into the video. We're going to be starting with the upper, then the midsole, then the outer, and I'll be giving you my opinions on each, and then we'll be looking at the value proposition, which I think is incredible for this shoe. Starting with the outsole, and I do think this is an incredible outsole. The amount of grip I find from such a limited amount of rubber is really unique, and I haven't found it so good in any other shoe outside of this one. I've never felt myself slipping or sliding in the two runs in this shoe I've done so far. One of them on the treadmill when I was first checking for size, and the other one a simple 5k on my local route just around the corner from me. Even in damp, wet, slightly muddy conditions on the road, I didn't find any slippage with this shoe, which is really unique because there's so little rubber. And I think this is going to hold up quite well. My only concern with the outsole so far has been the amount of exposed midsole foam that is present in the heel and midfoot of this shoe. I've watched lots of other reviews before getting this shoe, and I do think that lots of people have been concerned about that, but haven't really found it to be an issue. So I'll be doing a review at 100 miles to give you my opinion, and maybe even further if I find that becomes a problem. But from first impressions, tons of grip. I'm feeling myself propelled forward, and I'm sure some of that is the midsole, but I do think the outsole massively lives up to the expectations, which are incredibly high for this shoe. When looking at the midsole of this shoe, we come to my favourite part of the whole thing. This is a pretty traditional, standard kind of foam that you would expect in lots of the other Saucony range. But the thing that I think electrifies this shoe is definitely the nylon plate, which is right in the middle, in between these two pieces of foam here. And that really adds such a spring to your step. It's quite stiff, I don't know, I'm trying to bend it quite hard, and I would say it's significantly stiffer than some of the other shoes that I've tried, such as the Nike Tempo Next Percents, which are the ones that I was deciding between this shoe and those ones. I could say that this has a slightly stiffer nylon plate, which adds extra energy return, and it just feels amazing. This is definitely not the kind of shoe that you want to be doing your super easy days in, because it will push you to go faster, and that's something that I found massively when first trying out this shoe. The midsole isn't super thick. We don't have a massive heel or a massive drop. It's quite comfortable, and it will resemble a lot of shoes that people are very comfortable and familiar with running in. But the foam is soft enough that I think this shoe is really, really appropriate for doing anything from your tempo, your faster pace, maybe even some intervals, up to your weekly long run. I don't think you're going to have any nicks or niggles coming from this shoe because of a lack of foam or anything like that. I think this has got enough support, stability and propulsion in that midsole to keep you going and to make you fast, but also comfortable when it comes to some of the longer runs that you might be doing if you were training for something like a half marathon to a full marathon, which is exactly what I'm going to be using this shoe for my half marathon training in the next coming months, and maybe even to race in this shoe, which sounds absolutely insane, I know, for a shoe that is only £155 in the UK, full price. But it really could be doing it because it's phenomenally light. But we'll talk more about that in a second when we come to value. The last part of the shoe that we have to talk about is the upper, and I really like this upper because It creates the correct blend between these super thin Flyknit vapor weave kind of things that we're seeing on the top end Nikes at the moment, with a slightly more traditional fit and style. The material is really thin and nice around the toe box, making it light and letting in a lot of air, which is great if you live somewhere warm, but unfortunately for me, living in the UK, it means that my toes running outside in this shoe so far have been absolutely freezing, so just keep that in mind. Although it's not the end of the world for me, especially when you're running a little bit faster. The biggest difference between this upper and lots of the other super thin ones comes in the heel and around the foot. We've got a really nice solid heel counter with a decent amount of cushioning around the heel and ankle area. And we've also got a separate tongue, which is really nice. I don't mind the all-in-one material for shoes where I'm doing slightly easier runs, but I really feel like having a separate tongue that's still kind of tied into the rest of the shoe allows me to get a significantly better lockdown, which is where this shoe excels. We've got extra eyelets to do a runner's knot, but even without that, I found plenty good enough lockdown. I haven't felt any slipping or sliding. And I found this also true to size for my men's size 9 in the UK. I think that's US 10. Overall, this has been one of my favourite shoes I've ever tried. For a first impression, I really couldn't be more blown away. I think for £155 full price in the UK, this is an absolutely incredible shoe. I think this might be the best all-round shoe I've ever run in. You definitely can go easy, although it's slightly hard with that plate pushing you forward. But I've found that running fast up to 4 minutes, 3 minutes 50 per kilometre is really easy and comfortable with the amount of energy return and cushioning that we have in these shoes. And although I haven't tried a long run in these shoes yet, I have no worries that they'd be able to hold up just due to the really nice cushioning in that midsole. I'm not going to be giving you my scores for this shoe just yet, as I think that's unfair having only done 2 runs in them, but once these ones are up to 160 kilometers or 100 miles for you US folk, I'll be giving you my full review, so consider this a little taster, but these ones are going to immediately hit my running rotation and be pivotal in training for my half marathon, which is coming up in towards the start of 2020. Thank you so much for watching this first impressions video of this Saucony Endorphin Speed. If you've enjoyed it and you'd like to see any other running shoe videos, please consider subscribing below, and you'll also get to see the rest of the content I do about running and triathlon. On screen now you'll see a link to my running playlist and my running shoe reviews playlist, which will give you a little flavour of training and also some more running shoe reviews if you're still in the market after I haven't convinced you about these ones already.